Alright guys, so this place is called Place Vendome, this square that we're in here. One of the most expensive areas of Paris. As you can see, you have a Rolex store over there, Christian Dior store, Chanel store, another Rolex store. Very exclusive, very expensive area of Paris. Also to my left you have the Ritz, the most expensive and exclusive hotel in Paris. This is where Princess Di left, she was staying, she left here before she perished that fateful night in Paris. Very expensive, very exclusive. Guess how much the cheapest hotel is? Have a guess. One room, £500 a night. The most expensive one is 28,000 euros for one night in that hotel, in the penthouse. Very, very expensive. Also, behind me you have the Austerlitz column. This signifies Napoleon's victory against the Austrian Empire. As you can see on top there, that is Napoleon Bonaparte himself. And as you can see, he's dressed a little bit like Caesar, because that's the way he saw himself. He saw himself as an emperor. He saw himself as a god, almost, to rule over the people. You know, that's the way he... And he's a lot taller than he actually is, because he was really about this big with one arm. Also, if you look around the top of the verandas, you see a sun. That is to verify, to signify the Sun King. Do you remember who the Sun King was? Anyone? Told you last night? 14th. King Louis XIV. Very good. King Louis XIV. So he was the man that outlaid this area of Paris, Place Vendome. He was very well loved by the people of Paris. He was responsible for constructing over 60% of Paris as we know today. Now, briefly, I'm going to give you a quick history lesson of the French Revolution, if I don't mind you for about 5 minutes. So, who's heard of the French Revolution? A very important part of French history. Very, very basic, give you the details. Okay, King Louis XIV, he was the Sun King. He was responsible for building 60% of Paris. He was loved by his people. His son, King Louis XV, he lived in the most opulent time of the French Empire. They were responsible for colonising the world, going out, expanding their borders, and bringing the French language to a lot of people. Then King Louis XVI, he was the man that lived during the French Revolution, okay? He was brought up in the Palace of Versailles. He was brought up in a palace outside of Paris. Never actually lived in the city limits. A very sheltered life, had maids looking after him, butlers, all that kind of thing. Never really knew what during that time, there was 3 classes of people, okay? There was the nobles. So the nobles, so the nobility, they were the landowners, the royalty, and the high end of, the highest echelon of people. Then there was the church. So you had the Pope, or the clergies, the priests, you know, those kind of people. They had massive influence over these people in that time of age. You know, the church were a massive entity in that type of world, and they had a lot of influence over the people. And then you have the 98% of the population, which was the peasants. So people that had nothing, they worked like slaves, they had very little, they owned very little, and they were starving, they were hungry. They said, let us eat bread, those famous words by Maria Antoinette, and said, let them eat cake instead, because we can't give them bread. So they were the people that rised against the other 2 classes of people. They were so fed up with the way that they were treated, with no food, no housing, working too hard. So they started a revolution. This is the point, well actually the point's just down there where they started the revolution. They walked to the Palace of Versailles, they barged the gates, they broke them down, they went into the palace, kidnapped King Louis XIV and Maria Antoinette, brought her back to Place de la Concorde, which is just down there, and then off with their heads. Decapitated with the guillotine in the middle of Place de Concorde, and over 2,800 nobility and clergy were also decapitated on that day, which was known as the Reign of Terror or the French Revolution. Did I bore you? How many?
你講法國
2,800 people.